Welcome on back to another episode of the Goonery. Myself and Brandon here. We got a lot to talk about. Draft is next week for our Bears picking number 1 and number 9. And wrestling is just incredible right now. And it's all over the place, but we got to talk about it. Brandon, just want to gauge your thoughts before we get into draft discussion. Just give me a temp check on the Bears right now.
I think the temperature is great. I mean, you think about it like this. You're gonna draft number one. You're gonna draft Caleb Williams, and I know, and I don't know if you saw. I think sometime last week, the our wonderful Bleacher Report had Drake May going number one for some reason, even though all signs are pointing to Caleb. I guess it's important to be different around draft time. We've seen that with all the analysts and whatnot.
Oh,
We just
yeah.
hope that everything is just comes to an end next Thursday. But you're gonna draft the guy that people say is the consensus number one quarterback in the draft, and that's an incredible feeling. That's something that not only Bears fans have ever felt. Like so, that's a start, and then you have the number 9 pick, in which that pick can be another game-changing player, which we're going to get into. But
Mhm.
also, you can trade back that pick, and I think if you're at number 9, and there could be some
Yeah.
guys that is going to slide, and some teams are going to want. And let's just say if there's specific players that are off the board for the Bears, that's a prime trade back spot, especially for a team that only has 4 picks. And knowing Ryan Poles, I don't think he is too content with not with just 4 picks,
No.
even though he constructed a team that could be in a running for the playoffs next season.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of ways this thing could go. I think that's the most beautiful thing about it. And just knowing that the options, the options that can be at 9,
Mhm.
you have to be excited for it. You have to be excited for it. And to be honest, and I'm gonna say this, and maybe I'm in the minority with most Bears fans, but I don't think there's much you can do wrong with the 9th pick. Whether you pick there, whether you trade back, there's not much wrong you can do. So
So
I think the draft this draft time, I think the Bears are probably in the best position possible.
I agree. I mean, I think everything Ryan Poles has done this offseason thus far, it's hit. I mean, he's hit a home run with this offseason, in my opinion, leading up to this. Caleb Williams is walking into a situation. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Caleb Williams is the first pick. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's just it's over. It's over,
Mm.
and he's going number 1. And it's a formality at this point. I mean, he's probably got a key fob to Hallis Hall at this point, if we're being honest. And his locker's already prepared. Everything's ready to go. It's a formality. You said that there's nothing that could go wrong, no bad situation at 9. And I do agree with that. I personally, you got to gauge the situation, right? I mean, that's what Ryan Poles is going to do. There's a few guys who, if they're there at 9, I think there's no situation where you're trading back. Like
I
for
agree.
if Joe Alt is there, you're not moving from 9. You're not moving from 9. And let's just say this: we briefly touched on staying put at 9, which I don't foresee happening. I think that is the least likely scenario for the Bears with that 9th pick. We talked about trading back, but I think trading up is more likely than trading back from 9.
Interesting.
I just think due to the top level of talent here, right? I'm of the opinion I don't think that they're going to be drafting a wide receiver in the first round unless his name is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think they're going to trade up for him per se. I don't see them trading into the top 5, but in that 6 through 8, like if they're going to jump up 6, 7, 8, that's because Joe Alt is going to be there, or that's because Dallas Turner's there, and they don't foresee him getting to them at 9. And in my opinion personally, and if I'm Ryan Poles, Joe Alt is sitting there at 6, 7. I'm doing what I can to trade up and get a bookend left tackle to put on the opposite end of put on the opposite end of Darnell Wright, shore up that left side, and have someone who will give you two tackles for a decade to protect Caleb Williams. If you walk out of the first round, I don't know what that would cost to jump up a couple of spots potentially. But if you walk out of the top 10 of this draft with Caleb Williams and Joe Alt, I wouldn't be able to wipe this smile off my face until I see Joe Alt give up his first sack.
And here's the thing too. Joe Alt is probably fits the generational tag when it comes to offensive tackles in terms of this draft. But one of the good things, if you are going to trade back, let's say, obviously edge rusher is the spot that is probably going to be the most likeliest with Jared Verse or I think Dallas Harris might go in the top 10. But I think one of the good things is that offensive tackle is a really good position in the top 15 at least. And I think that the guy from Oregon State, his name is escaping me, but you have him, you have Olufashinu from Penn State. I think even if you trade back, you can still get one of those guys. And who knows if you do trade back and get a pick in the second round, that's even better because there's going to be pass rushers there and there's going to be a good amount of wide receivers there, which I think wide receivers, I think is going to be really tricky because if like, I think I've kind of bought in to if Rome Odunze is on the board, you draft him. And I'm also of the opinion that maybe, just maybe, if you trade back, you recoup a pick. Ricky Pearsall's out there. You have Xavier Legette out there. Malachi Corley is out there. Maybe even Roman Wilson. And the thing is, like, it's interesting because you're technically not looking for a second receiver.
You're not.
Because if you want to load up the receiver room with a guy like Rome Odunze to pair with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, sure, that's perfectly fine. But is it needed? Probably not. But if you want to put your franchise quarterback and what Ryan Poles said to Pat McAfee's show is talking about breaking a cycle, it probably starts there. But that's why I mean there's kind of no margin for error because if you go a wide receiver first round or if you go offensive tackle, I think there's going to be fans that's going to be like, hey, I'm cool with whatever.
There's a name you mentioned there in that wide receiver discussion who is exactly why I don't think there's a need to draft a wide receiver in the first round right now, and that's Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
Every mock draft simulation I do, if I'm able, whether I'm trading, whether I'm taking a pick at that 75 overall, if he's there, he's been on my mocks. I think that just when he has the ball in his hands, I mean, the combination of him and DJ Moore in terms of ball in their hands, yards after the catch, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's really, really, really scary. And let him develop under a guy like Keenan Allen for a year, potentially 2 years. See how it goes. They're in a position where a month ago or a month and a half ago, however long it was when they traded for Keenan Allen, where you don't feel the pressure to find that wide receiver too right now. And I think that that's what gives Ryan Poles an opportunity to just not press at 9 because not that wide receiver at this point in the NFL is a premium position. I would argue it is, but if you're able to get a bookend left tackle like Joe Alt, at 9 or potentially trade up, I just don't foresee a situation, especially with how Poles has been drafting and just likes to navigate things. I think that's just extremely, extremely hard to pass up. And I'm just happy that right now, not that I don't think he's going to be a great pro, we are no longer talking about Brock Bowers at 9. And
I've heard rumblings, man. I've heard rumblings.
So I don't, I just, I don't, I get it, but I don't.
I agree.
You have a top 10 tight end in Cole Kmet, right? I think he has finally taken that step where you can say, all right, you know what you're going to get out of Cole Kmet. And
They didn't extend him for no reason now.
no, no, exactly. And you also add a legitimate second wide receiver there with Keenan Allen, taking some of the pressure off of Cole Kmet. You have a, a back in DeAndre Swift now who's competent receiving the football. I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunity for Cole Kmet, and that contract is going to end up looking like even more of a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out and sign Gerald Everett, which fine. I mean, I don't hate it at all. I think that gives you a solid tight end duo, and when you have that, I don't see the need for Brock Bowers. And the Bears are not in a position where Brock Bowers is a luxury at 9.
I agree.
And not that I would argue they're close to being able to select a luxury, but they're not there yet. They're not there yet. If they're hypothetically they're picking at 9 next year with Caleb Williams, with whoever else they draft at 9 here, you can take Brock Bowers, and I would, yep, let's go. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think right guy, wrong time is how I would
I
describe
agree.
Brock Bowers.
I agree.
So is your ideal situation then you would prefer the trade back?
I got to be honest with you. I have a lot of preferred situations. Robo Dudes at 9, Joe O at 9. Trade back, you get Jared Verse. Or if you wanted to trade back even further, this is one of the wild cards here because there's a lot of people who's talking about taking him at 9. I completely disagree with it. If you trade back, let's say with Pittsburgh, they want to get a top flight receiver. There's 2 nose tackles, and I know right now that's not a position of need. Maybe that's some of the worst case scenarios for some Bears fans. I know you are too. I'm a big Johnny Newton fan. Would
Mm-hmm.
not mind. Would not mind it at all. He has potential to be a game record. But
He
we talk
does.
about game records, Byron Murphy fits that as well. And I get it, not a sexy pick, not at all. But it is something that I feel should be in consideration if the Steelers want to trade back because those guys will be there at 20. So we'll
That
see.
So that is a situation that I've been seeing them key in on. It potentially is the Steelers being interested in that 9th pick. I feel like I've seen it a lot the last few days. What do you think the return on something like that would be? I'm just like I want to gauge that just because obviously they got a 6th that could turn into a 4th with the trade from Fields.
Mm-hmm.
What in that scenario then? Who is Pittsburgh trading up for at 9? Are they trading up for a receiver? Or like who do you perceive?
It has to be a receiver. And I think it's like they will be the only team I would want to trade back with. We're talking about receiver because Buffalo's too far. Buffalo will be
Yeah.
the prime spot for a team to trade with. But if you trade with the Steelers, I think you have to get a first and a second rounder. And I think if you're going to get a top flight receiver, I think you'll be willing to give that. I think they'll be willing to
No,
give that up.
I agree.
I really do.
I was in the opinion there of either obviously their first this year and either a second or a third. That's
Yeah.
kind of I was at. So hypothetically then, with the if the Bills wanted to jump up to 9, what's that costing you?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, I don't know that pick situation. All I know is if you want to trade up from, I think they're in the 25,
Yeah, I
26
believe
range.
so. Yeah.
You better give up. You better give up some picks, like future type shit. Like a lot has to be asked for.
Yeah, they are oh yeah, no. 28. They'd be trying to jump up from 28.
Absolutely.
So here's a situation. I'd like to a team that I don't see a reason why they would jump up here, but let's say the Bengals want to trade up to 9.
Okay.
Are you taking a package centered around T. Higgins to jump up to
Oh,
9?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna be honest with you. If that means giving up the 9 and the 75 to get T. Higgins too, I'll take it. But it's going to be risky though, because he's going to want an extension. And then you got to figure out, damn, who do I pay? Still a 70 T. Higgins or an age of Keenan Allen? So I think that's something that Poles is going to want to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are guaranteed to get an extension out of it, sure. How does that work on the books? I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it would work out on the books either. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's not a situation I see happening in all honesty, but just tossing
Yeah.
hypotheticals out here. So before we get into our mock here, Washington picking it too. I think that seems to be they are dead set on Jaden Daniels, and
No matter what they do or bringing in all these damn quarterbacks, they're picking Jaden Daniels.
I I still don't get it, man.
What a
Which
weird organization. And by the way, same organization that Robert Griffin III said Caleb Williams supports trade to. By the way, just want to put that out there.
it just I think Jaden Daniels will likely end up being a fine pro. I just I see him as a fringe starter. If I'm being completely honest, but I mean, the jump that he made from Arizona State to LSU, obviously, yes, crazy, crazy jump. But my thing is, anyone can probably make that jump with the talent you have at LSU. So
Bingo.
I just think that I would err on the side of caution with Jaden Daniels, but obviously, if you think he's your guy, he's your guy.
And I'll say this because I think people don't remember like his Arizona State days, and he was going to lose his job. That's when he transferred, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing because when you look at Houston, their wide receiver room got improved through the draft. If you're Washington, you have to do the same thing. You have Terry McLaurin already, and I think they signed a second receiver. I can't think of him right now, but you need to add another one because that's the only way he's going to succeed. If Terry McLaurin's your only option, you might be in trouble. But as much as I do like the tools he has, it is crazy how the prospect fatigue that has gone on with Drake May has permeated to him being third or fourth pick. Or as a matter of fact, he may be the fourth quarterback taken, or
Yeah.
third or fourth.
Yeah.
And because listen, I want to be very, very clear. JJ McCarthy, right? I'm a big fan of his. I feel like I've had two swords in my hand trying to fight off people that have said he's not a good quarterback. I also will say that he should have stayed another year in college because if he did, he'd be quarterback number one easily. But if you tell me to pick between Drake May and JJ McCarthy, I'm taking Drake May. Because if you ask me, you could probably start Drake May week one. I
Mhm.
don't think you should start JJ McCarthy week one.
Oh, I don't see any situation where JJ McCarthy starts week 1.
Me either. And if they do, shame on them. Because that's how the cycle starts.
And
Because with all these rookie quarterbacks, you have to start on week one. You have to put them out there to have to let them learn. I'm gonna be honest with you. That whole let them learn stuff, I don't think it's true unless there is a very, very clear difference between the current starting quarterback is no rookie technically goes in training camp as a starting quarterback unless is a very big difference between the starter, the veteran, and the rookie. You need to start the guy who plays the best, not the guy that you drafted first or second.
so I'll say this about JJ. I think that if he is drafted in the top 10, which I think it's a lock that he will be, it's just a matter of to who.
Hmm.
He'll only start for one team if he's drafted in the top 10. That's the LA Chargers.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You know,
I'm not ruling out a draft night trade of Justin Herbert.
hmm. You know, now that you say that, there's a quarterback I wouldn't actually be ruled out being traded draft night either, and it's not Justin Herbert. Look out for Kyler Murray being
I
traded,
exactly who I thought you were going to say because he doesn't want to be a part of the rebuild.
and he
And
shouldn't.
no,
He shouldn't.
no, he's Kyler's a guy who, I mean, he's so young. He's only 26.
Yeah,
I think he's 26, 26 or 27. Just already just needs a change of scenery.
he does.
And I think he will be successful wherever he goes because he's been good as long as he's been healthy.
Yeah. And anyone who's going to sit there and blame him for the situation he's in right now, you're dead wrong. No quarterback is going to thrive in that situation.
He didn't hire Cliff Kingsbury. That wasn't on him.
Exactly. But another team did. Good luck.
It's yeah, Kyler Murray's a real interesting situation to me because I don't know where he would fit potentially Minnesota. Like
Or the Giants.
the Giants have just completely fucked themselves.
They are in a situation. You know what? Because like I'm gonna throw back the curtain a little bit. The people that I've been battling with the whole JJ McCarthy debate are my friends who are
Giants
Giants,
fans. Yep.
and a lot of them saying that they're going to fall into the same cycle of you draft a quarterback, but you don't surround them with weapons. And it's a completely understandable argument. Don't get me wrong. But it feel like it doesn't make sense either because right now the Giants have Drew Lock and Daniel Jones as their quarterbacks. Unless you want to throw in Tommy DeVito just for shits and giggles, sure. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of people are bullish on JJ McCarthy because he didn't have the attempts as a Bo Nix or Michael Penix, but they're on the back end of the first round and into the second round for a reason. But if you ask me, if 5 years, who's going to be a starting quarterback in the league? If you talk about JJ McCarthy, Daniel Jones, or Drew Lock, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be starting. I sure as hell don't think Drew Lock will be starting. We gotta remember JJ McCarthy is only 21 years old. And he has an absolutely electric arm, and he's athletic, and he doesn't get hurt. He's very durable.
Yep.
So if you tell me that, hey, we should probably draft this guy because the quarterback that we have right now, he just got up a torn ACL, he has a bad neck, and he hasn't been great despite the circumstances. Hey, I'm just saying we may have to start looking towards the future. And the thing is, it's that they are in a tricky situation, just like you said, because right now, if Brian Dable has another bad year, guess what? He's probably going to get fired, especially if they know Bill Belichick is out there. So they're in a situation where maybe, just maybe, they could stick with Daniel Jones for one more year, get him more weapons, see what happens. But then you fall into a new coach and a new quarterback next year. But who is the quarterback you're going to get in next year's draft? Purely projection, this next year's class is not going to compare to this one.
No.
So they're in a tough situation.
Not even the same
Not
universe.
anything stratosphere.
Yeah.
If Drew Aller is in your top 5 for quarterbacks next year, there you go.
Man, that's Drew Aller's gonna look real good in a Raiders uniform.
He might look good in a DC Defenders uniform. Who even knows?
It's yeah, there's just so many moving pieces with this draft after number 1. this year, where it's going to be a very, very, very enjoyable draft night to watch. And I haven't felt that way in a few years, quite
Yeah,
frankly. I mean,
yeah.
it's
I think the last time will probably be the Lawrence, Mac
I
Jones,
know
Zach Wilson, Justin Fields draft,
yeah.
probably.
Do you think there's potential for this draft to end up that way with the quarterbacks? I mean, do you like that ended up being quite possibly the most disappointing quarterback class you could say of this century, maybe?
I would probably say yeah. Yeah, I think I'd say so.
Like anyone with a brain knew Mac Jones was not going to be a good NFL quarterback. I hate to be hurt like that, but like, come on, you couldn't have possibly watched Mac Jones at Alabama with everyone he was throwing to and thought, yep, this is going to be great in the NFL. We're going to build a franchise around him.
They wanted a Brady clone.
Yeah.
They thought that was the closest. Like the non-athleticism and the not great arm and whatnot. Yeah, they thought they was getting another Tom Brady.
So yeah, I mean, he's a disappointment. I Justin Fields obviously a big disappointment. Hoping for him to have a rebound. Always going to be Justin Fields guys on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue Trevor Lawrence is getting close to bust territory. I mean, do you dare say that?
Plus territory is going to be kind of strong, but
But I'll say this:
but I
bust.
will say bust in the terms of where he was ranked. You could probably say that.
That was exactly the direction I was going to take that because the minute he stepped foot onto Clemson's campus, he was already before he even took a snap in a game. This is the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck.
And Kelly Bryant was a dead man walking. He didn't even do much wrong either.
But it's just Fields has been very, or not Fields. Jesus, it's like a Pavlovian response on this. Talking about disappointing quarterbacks, but Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's just a weird quarterback room too now with Trevor Lawrence, Matt McCorkle there. I mean, that's just not great. But Brandon, we're just under a week away now from Caleb Williams, Chicago Bear.
Right.
You want to get into a little bit of a live mock here?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Right. I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to ask about our first pick here because.
Can we imagine the offers that you're getting?
All right, we'll take in the offers.
No, skip that shit.
All righty, let me go ahead and click start here for anyone at home. We are using the NFL draft database simulator. All
Yeah,
right.
because PFF wanted to start pricing for mock drafts, which I think it's insane. But hey, capitalism, you know.
Wow, we got a blockbuster offer from the Patriots. I know we're not taking it, but their first this year, second this year, fourth this year, seventh this year, and fifth round next year. No, thank you. We are going to take Caleb Williams, number one. Was there ever even a question? I don't think so. All right, here we go at 9. We're sitting with an offer from, so just to give you the top 4 prospects on the board: Malik Neighbors, Dallas Turner, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers.
Oh wow.
So we have gotten from the Buccaneers. You know what? I'm not even going to read this one. That's a slap in the face. From the Raiders, we received their first round pick this year, their third round pick this year, as well as their fifth and seventh this year. And that would move us back to the 13 slot.
Oh man, that's enticing.
Yeah, that one is enticing. And then we got the Bengals 6th and 2/7 this year for their first next year and their third and sixth next year. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, no, but that Raiders one, um, that's enticing. And what pick are they in the third round?
They are in the third round, the 77th. And we
Ooh.
also This year we just got a I like actually, you know what, Brandon? I think we're gonna have to take this one.
Uh,
Trade back one slot with the Jets to acquire their second round pick next year and their fourth this year.
you trade back one, and more offers going to come in. So I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, we roll
That's
riding
the way to go.
forward. We're gonna repeat history this year. Trade back one slot.
Yeah.
All right, let's ride.
Now, question: who did they pick with that number 9?
Oh my wow. Fuega from Oregon State.
Oh wow, Joe O must have been in a gas mask. If
Oh
you know, you know.
Lord. Ooh, we got a great offer from the Steelers here.
Okay.
Their 20th, the 51st, and then their 2025, 3, 5, and 6. I'm gonna reject this one from the Chiefs. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Not even read that one from the Texans. And then from the Eagles, we got their first, which is the 22nd, the 53rd pick, the 171st pick, and then their fifth and seventh next year, which I don't hate that one either.
Yeah, yeah, I don't hate that one.
From the Panthers, I can't believe that they're calling us up here. They offered us their second round pick this year, their first next year, their third next year, and their sixth next year.
Hmm.
That's going to be a really bad team again.
Yeah.
That's going to be a real bad team. I'm kind of liking staying put here, if I'm being honest.
So what pick did we get from the Jets?
From the Jets, we got their, I believe, their third.
The 30 to 77, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who's on the board right now?
Malik Neighbors, Dallas Turner, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, and Terrion Arnold are the top five available.
I gotta be honest with you.
I think I know the direction you're going to want to take this.
I it's
It, it's best play.
Joel.
Yep,
Joel.
that's right. I'm happy. I'm happy you said that, Brandon. I am happy you said that.
it would be hard to pass up neighbors though, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, so we got their 111 this year and their third next year. I apologize on that.
Oh, good.
All right, so we're just coming up on 75, making our way through here. We have the fast speed on, and we are on the clock. All right. Just received offer from the Raiders to trade us their fifth, sixth, two sevenths, their third and seventh next year.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I say we just
Yeah,
stay
stay
put
away.
here. All right, let's make a selection. So we have the top available options here are let's see, Jonathan Brooks from Texas, Javon
Okay.
Bullard, Marshawn Nealand, Trey Benson, Cooper Beebe, Christian Haynes, Blake Corum, Cole Bishop, Mason Smith are our top 10 here. Do you have a specific position you'd like to kind of key in on here, Brendan?
I gotta be honest with you. I've heard no wide receiver that piques my attention. I don't think we named one. I'm gonna be
No,
honest with you.
I did not. The highest available receiver on the board right now is Devontae Walker from North Carolina.
So here, I think we go based off tools, and we go Marshawn Nealand.
We're on the same page here again, Brandon. He
That is an Eberflus player if I see one.
I know. I mean, obviously, people will go, "Oh, he's a Mac guy. They don't play anyone in the Mac." Well, guess what?
You know who played in the Mac?
I could tell you. I could tell you.
All time great. If you're a Bears fan, you probably should know that too. We ain't gonna see no names, but hey, you should know your history.
All right, there we go. And that was graded at an A+ selection at 75, Marshawn Nealon.
That's right.
All right, we are sitting here at 111. We have two trade offers. The Vikings fourth and fifth this year, as well as their two sevenths next year. And that would bump us from the 111th selection to 129. And then the Cardinals
Hmm.
is poverty.
Okay, so let's assess who's on the board first.
We are seeing Cam Hart from Notre Dame, Blake Fisher, Christian Mahogany. Let's see, Kalen Bullock, Braylon Allen, Cedric Gray.
Can I ask, is there a Mason McCormick on the board right now?
I am not seeing him, Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I've seen his tape. I'm like, damn, I don't know how he's even slated to go as low as he is. But we have 129 still, correct?
We would be getting 129 from Minnesota. We still have 122.
122, that's what I meant. So I am going to go Christian Mahogany.
Okay, yeah, build up that interior on the offensive line. I'm still not happy with the center situation, Brandon. I know
I'm not sure about it. I'm not at all.
no, I know Mahogany. I believe he's a guard. I think mainly, um,
Okay.
but the simulator gave us an A+ on that selection. So
Okay.
the Vikings have once again tried trading up to give us their 129 selection, as well as their sixth and seventh this year and their sixth next year. And that is,
And that's from 122 to 129.
yes,
I think I'm taking that.
I do like that offer. And then we also received an offer from the Texans for pick 127, their sixth and their seventh this year.
Hmm.
But I think I like that Vikings
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
agree.
just to give you a little bit more from next year. So we'll take that.
Yeah,
All right, Ryan.
let's
Well, we are wheeling and dealing. We're sitting with three more picks now: 129, 177, and 230.
perfect.
All right. Wow, no trade offers here at 129. Kind of surprising.
I think this is where we have to dip into the wide receiver pool.
You read my mind here, Brandon.
Yeah.
There are two guys here, but I'm kind of keying in on one. Malik Washington and Brendan Rice are available.
Oh, I honestly, sorry, Caleb. I think Washington's the better wide receiver. I'm going
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
there.
I am glad you said that.
We need to match Green Bay and Octavia Wicks under us from Virginia. We need to get our own Virginia wide receiver.
Looking at some of these names going here. All right, we just received an offer for our sixth round pick this year for the Saints, fifth and sixth next year.
No, thank you.
Yep. All right, so we have here, let's take a look at all positions. We have, I personally, Brandon, I would like to go secondary here.
Yeah, we should.
We in terms of corners, we have Elijah Jones from Boston College, Jalen Simpson from Auburn, and Johnny Dixon. Those are our top three corners on the board here. I think just based on what I've seen, I like the value of Elijah Jones here at the corner position.
I
Uh,
was gonna say, I was hoping he wasn't gonna say Johnny Dixon because I don't know what happened. I remember he came into college as one of the best cornerbacks last season,
mhm.
and he fell off a cliff after dealing with Marvin Harrison Jr. I think you can't go wrong with Jones or Simpson, but let's go Jones here.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a bigger DB. I think he's 6'2" or 6'3". I mean,
Perfect,
righty, give us some physicality on the outside.
as we should.
I'll take an all AAC first team selection any day in the sixth round. And we are slowly approaching pick 230 here, our last selection. You know, I do we dare draft a punter here?
Is Tory Taylor available?
Yes, he is.
I say you do it. Why not? Why not?
That is the
I
only reason I am suggesting him because I had to go look.
I kid you not. My very first mock I did, this is probably like right after the season. He was on there.
I mean,
He was on there.
dare I say generational talent? And if Al Davis was still alive, he'd be a first round pick.
Probably. And who's our partner last year? I forgot his name's escaping me.
Oh, was it Trenton Gill?
Try and get yeah. He's gotta go. He's gotta go. He's not a good punter.
Wow. I did just confirm that it was. I looked up Trenton Gill, and the first thing that came up was his jersey for sale. That's surprising.
Oh, I
Let me,
think that's gonna sit there for a while.
let me just say, if you are purchasing a Trenton Gill jersey, get some help, please.
What are you doing? I mean, like Paul Ettinger is out there. I don't know if he's a punter or a kicker, but like Robbie Gould, maybe Pat O'Donnell. I don't know.
Oh God, Pat O'Donnell, I miss him.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we
Brandon,
took already.
I don't know how accurate this website is, if I'm being quite honest with some of these grades.
Yeah.
But we every pick we got was either an A or an A plus, except for Tory Taylor, who just missed as a B plus.
Hey, I mean, somebody will be made to be look like a fool for not drafting Tory Taylor. So I think that's how you got to take it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm happy with that. That ended up we made two trades. We traded down. We got Joe Alt. I mean, we Joe Alt was a large conversation piece on this show tonight, and
Yep.
we got him even by trading down. So we added some draft capital next year. We got our franchise quarterback, got our franchise left tackle, an athletic freak in Marshawn Nealand. You know, some help on the interior, Christian Mahogany, potentially develop into. I don't know if he can play center, but you know, it's not bad to have three guards like that. Malik Washington, I love that selection. Elijah Jones and Tory Taylor. I mean, Tory Taylor might be my favorite pick of this draft if I'm.
And you know what? If there's going to be times where Caleb isn't going to be great, you got to play field position.
So Brandon, if this is how the Bears draft shakes out next week, you're happy with it?
Oh, I'm over the moon about it. I mean, we clearly know more than the people that's working in the front office. I mean, but in all seriousness, I would be happy just to get the positional value that we did and whatnot, and just recouping picks. I think is important, and I don't know if Joel's going to be there at 9. I don't know if he's going
Oh,
to be
I,
there at 10. But what I do know is you can't get good plays in this draft class, and that's what's most important. So I'm happy about it.
yep. So with that being said, I mean I think now is a good time to pivot to our other discussion. Brandon, we are fresh off of one of the the greatest WrestleManias of all time. WWE is as hot as it's been in God knows how long. Wrestling's mainstream again. Wrestling's
Yep.
cool again. It's as a fan, it's kind of an odd feeling.
Because you're waiting for the moment for that high to come down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And right now, I think this is not an era where we can be cautiously optimistic. Because here's the thing. No wrestling company is perfect. I know we're WWE guys, but I'm not going to say our type WWE is
No,
perfect. No, we don't think that. But what I will say is they are making everything with a purpose. That is the most important thing. It felt like things from week to week just wasn't a purpose under the last regime. You are seeing that now.
the
You are
biggest
seeing the
issue
long
with
term
me is
storytelling.
continuity. Continuity exists now, and that's
That's right.
all you need to have logical storylines.
That's it. That's it. It was literally that simple. And I tell you, I am so excited to know where things are going. And I got to be honest, there was the past couple of years in wrestling because I would say like 40 was great. 39 wasn't bad either.
I was
Let's not
thought
forget.
I thought 39 was a great WrestleMania.
And here's the thing. What happened after 39 made people come down because everything just seemed to not have a purpose. You didn't see that with after 40. Chad Gable and Sami Zayn have a storyline. We're going to see what Cody Rhodes' first challenger is going to be. We're going to see the Liv Morgan revenge turn. Unfortunately, came at the expense of Rhea Ripley, but the story, the bricks have been built. It's being built brick by brick. And same thing with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. There
That
is
is,
things.
they have real quick. There's two things.
Ooh,
One, they haven't announced that there's a tournament to crown the new women's champion, right? Because
not that I know of,
they just said a new women's champion is going to be crowned this week,
which I think is interesting, by the way.
which
Very, very interesting.
I don't know the way they're going to do that. Maybe they just I'm thinking like ladder match on Raw potentially, multi-woman ladder match. I don't know. I'm just I don't think they go back to the well with the ladder match either, just after the tag team title ladder match at WrestleMania. They're not just going to crown it, but do you want to know what would be honestly badass? Would be Triple H just going, you know what? Fuck it. Let's show the world we value our women's division. Let's just make this entire show a women's title tournament.
That could work.
I don't know. And I'm of the opinion, call me crazy. I don't want Liv Morgan to win the title.
At least not yet. At
That's
least not yet.
that's where I'm at, where I think you go that Drew McIntyre path that they're kind of going on, where it just send her into a spiral. Like
Yes.
literally make her crazy. I don't know who I want to be the Raw or the women's world champion, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm gonna be real upset if somehow there's a Charlotte Flair return, though. They just put that belt on her. Do you think that's likely?
I think it's likely, unfortunately, but I there's a part of me that truly believes Becky Lynch will be champ. They're gonna get her off a hiatus and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a championship. How do you feel?" And I think that's where it's gonna kick off. She already made a return at the live event. I believe it was either today or yesterday. I
Yeah.
think there seems to be implanted, so that's a good thing. But what I would do, because here's how I see it. It's going to be your classic promo of we're announcing the world champion. This woman's going to come out. 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 So how do you settle that? You get 6 women. You put them in a 6-pack challenge at Backlash, and that's how you crown a champion. I do not think a champion will be crowned next Monday. This is all an angle, and they're going to set up the match for the championship.
So here's something. Do you think with the announcement of Julia signing, I'm definitely butchering that pronunciation, I know, but she'll likely go to NXT. But what are the odds of putting her into the title picture right out of the gate.
I would think it would be a big mistake because I granted she is very familiar with the women wrestling fans, and which and really you're appealing to them,
Yep.
which really understandable. I do think she does need to get familiar with the audience first. That's going to be very very important, and I think that's where her going to NXT would be perfect for her.
Call me crazy. Do I know who I want? I think I know who I want to see win this women's world title.
I think I have an idea, but who are you
And
thinking?
I can't believe I am fucking saying this, but Nia Jax.
I think if it's not Liv Morgan or Becky Lynch, it's going to be Nia Jax.
I like can't comprehend the fact that I'm enjoying this run of hers. Like it's genuinely been kind of entertaining. Like she's vastly improved.
Very, very much so. I mean, there's not a single person that can tell me that she's had a bad run the
No,
second time around.
like you don't see people complaining the minute she's on your TV screen anymore online.
Yeah,
And I take it back. I know who I want to. Other than Nia, I think Nia Jax is my pick, but who I want to see win the women's title?
I think I know.
Oh, Chelsea Green.
Oh, I didn't not expect that.
Come on, put the title on her. Just give her one run. One.
I enjoy her work, and you know what? By the way, side note, I think Chelsea Green, Ariana Grace team will work gracefully. With all due respect, with all due respect, with no pun intended, no
Yes.
pun intended.
Yes, I
But
agree.
I think that would work really good. But I think there's a wild card in all this. There's someone in the women's division that's one of Triple H's girls, and I think
Yep. Yep.
she needs to be kind of lifted. I don't say I'm not going to say she's going to win the title, but I think she needs to be lifted back into relevancy. Get Shayna Baszler role a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
I know she's it's kind of hard to like revamp her because she's kind of been kicked to the side. Never too late for her to get back to being who she was.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
No, it really is.
She went from being a nobody to beating Ronda Rousey. So
Literally.
I mean, I think
I didn't want you to remind me of that match. Oh my god.
that was really fucking bad. That was really, really bad. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could take it, and it's gonna be really interesting to just see the direction they take the women's division this summer. And it's obviously not that it's shitty circumstances. Rhea Ripley was on an absolutely incredible run,
Yeah.
but a lot of intrigue, a lot of different ways they could go about it. I'm really interested to see what Bald Paul cooks up here.
And he's been cooking. He's been doing an excellent job.
Oh yeah,
But then let's talk about people with hair. A lot of hair that's a little unkept and whatnot. What in the hell is going on in Jacksonville? What is going on? I mean, we can talk about it last
hey, they brought back the old Jaguars logo. See that?
I mean, good stuff, by the way. Really good stuff. I enjoy that logo. Fred Taylor era. You know. What are they doing? Is this company that thin-skinned that they thought showing footage in which, by the way, because what if you've been living on a rock? What prompted the reaction of showing the incident from All Out in August of last year? CM Punk and Jack Perry get into a scuffle. It came about because CM Punk talked about what happened at that particular time. He talked about the time in the company. So the AEW decides they want to be petty and they want to show footage. But two things. How it was described by CM Punk is exactly what the footage showed.
Yep.
It's exactly what's shown. And don't listen to these people who's talking about sucker punch or you got jumped. You never been in a physical altercation in your life. So I wouldn't even I want to listen to you. The only physical altercations you see is on a TV screen and it's all scripted. So let's start there. But number two, for what? Who is it supposed to embarrass? Because I'm here to tell you, they aim to embarrass somebody,
They embarrassed
Embarrass
themselves.
themselves. WWE came off one of the most successful WrestleManias of all time, and you're playing footage from August, something that's been reported on numerous occasions,
Mm-hmm.
and they must have thought that this is going to be something groundbreaking. It was going to have people talking. Oh, it got people talking, but it got people talking about you, not talking with you. If there is a indication of where both wrestling companies are going, last week was a clear indication of where these companies are going. And right now, even if you're an AEW purist, you're grasping onto straws of how to defend this company, because right now, some of the stuff they're doing is indefensible. And right now, even if you are a purist of AEW, and if you like all wrestling, like you say, you give WWE their props. It's the company that you hated on. It's the company that you left because you didn't get what you wanted, even though it's not all about you. Just saying.
No, it's and throughout this entire situation from the AEW side, there's been one person in power there who has acted like an adult, and that's been Kenny Omega.
Yeah, good
I mean,
on him
I
too.
mean,
Good on
the
him.
quotes that have come out from him, it seems like he didn't want that footage released.
Yes,
And obviously, Tony's the one signing his check. He's got the final say. But shout out to Kenny Omega because him responding that way with this footage coming out leaves an opportunity and a door open for him to potentially have one run in WWE. I don't know if that will ever happen. I'm still hopeful because goddamn, that would be incredible to watch.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's heading that way.
It
The
seems
the
that
differences, it seems that way. The differences of where the EVPs want this company to go, something's amiss. It's in something like this where you are doing a clear PR stunt and it backfires on you. And we're not even talking about the wrestling. We're talking about the stuff outside of wrestling. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. And I kid you not, you're gonna keep seeing talent from AEW leave because it's clear that AEW does not have an adult in the room, even though Tony Khan is right there. He should be controlling the room, but he wants to be everybody's friend, not a boss. He only wanted to be a boss when CM Punk was walking out the door.
I
You can't have it both ways.
I just I seeing the footage now, I just cannot believe Tony Khan was publicly quoted saying that he feared for his life.
Like, come on, man. Like once I hear that, I think you're lying. It's not just him.
I I,
Once I hear that from somebody, you're lying.
I know. And I know this sounds very negative coming from us. It's not what's intended. We're just talking about what's been going on. That's all it
Call
is.
it like you see it. That's all.
And it is what it is. There's just been so many positives in wrestling as a whole, though, that I mean, it's great. I mean, Forbes came out and gave valuations on the largest combat sports companies in the world. UFC was obviously number one. It
Yeah.
came it came in at about $11.5 billion. It came out earlier today. $11.5 billion. WWE is about $6.5 billion, and AEW is a little over $2 billion, coming in at number three.
Okay.
And as much as we don't agree with what's going on over there, I don't know how they're worth that much, seeing what their attendance has been the last few months, just seeing
Yeah.
the pictures on Twitter. But them being a thing is good for wrestling. It
It
is.
is.
I mean,
It
it
is.
caused the WWE to say, okay, we got to get our act together. We will never see another 2019 again in the WWE as long as AEW is functioning at the same. It's still functioning and cutting checks.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And the thing is, I will, no matter how much I think AEW fans reek of just pure delusion. I keep saying this, and I feel like I'm regurgitating the same point over and over and over again. AEW and WWE are not meant to be the same company. They are a wrestling company, but they're not the same thing. And that's okay because if you want more wrestling, AEW is right there for you. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You want entertainment plus wrestling? You got Monday, you got Tuesday, and you got Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, like it's out there for everybody. So when we talk about why this company isn't doing this, why this company isn't doing that, they're probably doing another company, and that's
Yep.
okay. But
Yep.
just go watch it. That's it. That's really it.
It's truth. It's the truth. There's just it's gonna be a fun summer too. Let's just
Oh yeah.
let's just leave it on a positive note. It's gonna be a fun summer. The women's title picture, world title picture in the WWE to see where Cody's reign is gonna go. The new direction of the Bloodline storyline, because oh man, that is just getting started.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're gonna see the summer of Punk done correctly with Drew McIntyre.
They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it right. They're gonna get it right.
Because there's still reports of him not being re-signed. His contract's up in about 5 or 6 weeks, something along those lines. I think it's an MJF situation. I think that contract has been signed. And goddamn, dude, wouldn't it be something to see Drew Galloway walk into the Impact Zone with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
I will not be surprised. Those
Because
contract talks are going to start ramping up on TV,
mhm,
totally on purpose. He's gonna leave with the championship just like Punk, give a kiss and go through the crowd. It's all written.
and it's
It's
gonna be a
all written.
it's gonna be a Clash at the Castle. He's gonna win it.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up at an English indie show. I mean, I goddamn man, it's hell. I think he'll show up at a Noah show potentially too in Japan,
Probably.
and
Probably.
it'll be they're going to get it right. I mean, the blueprint is there, and if they don't take the story in that direction, I will be surprised. Also, I just want to say, I just shout out Damian Priest. I know that
Mm-hmm.
I know some people aren't thrilled about it. I'm a big Damian Priest fan. Sucks he's only gonna be a transitional champ.
Yep.
But good for him. He got his big moment. And the fact that that was planned for 6 months.
Yeah, they did it right.
I mean,
They did.
because if that was planned for 6 months, he was gonna be cashing in on CM Punk there. That was
Yeah.
going to be taking the title off of CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's
That is something.
there's I'm just I think there's no doubts that he loses it at Clash at the Castle to Drew,
Oh
but
yeah.
um, it's also really cool just to see how that broke down too, where anytime Damian Priest did try and cash in, that it was Drew McIntyre who stopped.
Yeah.
That's a happy accident because of the Punk injury,
Yeah.
but still, that's awesome that it worked out that way, and it built a story.
So calculated. And that's what makes it so perfect.
Yep. And you know what? I'll say this. I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see Sheamus back in the world title picture.
He will be. I think it will get to that point. It will get to that point. I can almost guarantee you.
I want him to have one last run with the world title, man. Just
If he has one more run with the world title, sure. Will he be in the picture? Absolutely. I can't wait for that.
it's gonna be banger after banger after banger again.
That's right.
Lobster head, man. Lobster head. I popped so goddamn loud hearing that song back.
Oh yeah. Thank God Death Rebel did not do anything damage. It didn't damage it.
They I really do think that they were just fucking with us too, with the intro of the.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that'll be here to stay. I don't think that'll be here.
I think it will. I think it will just for the whole aesthetic of Pat McAfee saying it's fight night and whatnot. It fits perfect. So I won't be surprised.
And also, I just want to say to any wrestling fans coming out and saying that Sheamus is fat, you are a fucking idiot. Is
I
he as
mean,
shredded as he was? No, but he's 46 years old. He's coming back from a neck injury. He's probably weighing about 40 pounds heavier. And guess what? He drops 10 of that. He is going to look identical to what he looked like before, but more defined. So, guess what? Give him 3 weeks and he will look exactly how you remember.
these are probably the same people who defended Chris Jericho when NBA Twitter got a hold of him. And like, who cares? Who cares? He's out of shape. So what? A lot of my favorites been out of shape. You see John Cena recently? Remember Triple H back in 06? Come on now. Come on.
Yeah. And I just want to say, too, before this show, I checked, I was going through Twitter. In Europe right now, they're running intercontinental title matches.
Oh my God.
Sami Zayn, Gunther, Chad Gable, and Finn Balor.
I mean, throw it on YouTube, man. Throw it
Just
on YouTube, please.
please,
Please.
please.
It's probably like it's gotta be match of the year. That's match of the year stuff right there.
Chad Gable, Team Gable, coming soon. Him and the Creed brothers.
Please. I beg. That I need it. I need that. I need it. I need that's probably best case scenario of anything that can possibly happen.
It's best for business. The world needs Perk.
Correct.
We need Perk Gable. But with that being said, this is going to wrap this week's show. We will be back. We'll be back next week. We're going to be talking some wrestling again and breaking down the drafts. A lot to be excited for on this show. A lot to be excited for on this show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next week.